Nation, PERFORMA heroes. Welcome to the PERFORMA POPcast, the POPcast or podcast where we talk about all sorts of things, pop culture, talk about fitness, and we just kind of see where the conversation goes sometimes. I'm your host, as you guys know, Peter Surs, and today's guest, we are going to get to know her together because I've never met this young lady, but we wanted to have her on. She is a single mom, a model, a fitness coach out of Niagara, Canada. She's also the owner and founder of Our House, the agency, which is a model talent agency, and they do all sorts of things. And her motto is that she strives to inspire and help others become happier and healthier and fulfilled in their own lives, regardless of where they are in their journey. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Like I said, we're going to get to know her together for our guest today, Makayla Rogerson.
Hi, guys. Nice to meet everyone. I am so thankful to be here. And yeah, so I mean,
you are talking, we have about 12 million listeners. So like, how do you feel right now?
I didn't actually know that at all. Thanks for the,
I'm joking. I don't know.
Out there.
I'm joking. I honestly have no idea how many people are listening, but the reach of PERFORMA Nation, like they have quite a big following. So I don't know.
That is very true.
I'm just the messenger, so I don't look at those things. I just like to interview our guests. So you're in Niagara, Canada.
Yeah, that is correct. St. Catharines exactly, but most people don't know where St. Catharines is. So if I say Niagara, they're like, "Oh, the falls," which I'm only 20 minutes away from.
Okay, so that was that. Yeah, because that was my next question. Because I've been to like Toronto, I've been to like Vancouver, Edmonton, but I just assumed that Niagara was near the falls. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Correct. That it is the region that I'm in, not the city.
Okay, got it. Now, you've obviously been to Niagara Falls.
Oh yes, it is just like my backyard.
Okay. I'll go there one day. Cool. So okay, so let's just talk a little bit. Tell me kind of, a little bit of history about yourself, where you grew up, how you got into fitness, any of those types of things.
Okay, so born and raised in St. Catharines, Ontario. I've never been anywhere else, except when I tried to move to Alberta to live with my mom, but that didn't work out, so I came back. But my fitness journey started out when I was young. When I was, I believe the earliest was, grade 2 or 3. So I was around about 9 years old. And I started playing soccer. From there, I joined the cross country team of my school. And then it's cutting in and out a bit.
I can hear you still.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah.
So yeah. Do I need to relocate?
Hold on. I'll press pause for a second. And we're back. Okay, so you were telling us that you started your fitness journey started when?
When I was in elementary school, so like the ages of 8 and 9, I started playing soccer. Then I got into cross country, and then from there I joined every sports team that my school offered. Really? So I just love being athletic. I love being in the sports so much that I actually cut off all my hair and just continued having like the short hair from the ages of 10 to about 12 when I decided to regrow it because no one realized that I was actually a girl. So I played as rough as a boy, so they assumed I was a guy. So I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, flash forward, I just continued doing sports within my middle school years. And then with high school, I only did it in grade 9. And then in grade 10, I got pregnant. But nonetheless.
Grade 10?
Well, like the end of, no, it was grade 11, but grade 10, I got injured. Oh, yeah. So grade 11, I got pregnant.
Okay, got it.
So I was 16 when I got pregnant. My apologies. But in grade 10 and 9, I was grade 9 was track and cross country, but grade 9 and 10 I did dance, and then we found out I had scoliosis, so I kind of took a break out of that, and then I ended up getting pregnant in grade 11, had him at the start of grade 12, And then I ended up taking a second grade 12 year. So I did grade 12B, graduated, and then I just started working out over COVID. And now I got into fitness coaching and being connected with all the brands and everything over the years of modeling. I've been modeling for 5.5 years. So that kind of helped me continue get everything else, getting everything kind of intertwined in the end.
Yeah. So, okay. So you had your son when you were in high school still.
I did.
Wow. Okay. And then obviously, because I obviously
that's a whole different experience that people don't really know or talk about much about. So
yeah.
I got with his father back when I was 16. Yeah, just after I turned 16. It wasn't really the best relationship, I'll be honest. But then I ended up moving out and moving in with him, and then shortly after that I ended up getting pregnant. Switched schools in that process as well. Then I was known as a pregnant girl at that school, even though I only attended for like 3 to 5 months.
Right.
And then I moved to Alberta. Incident happened with the landlord there, my mom's landlord, and then I moved back, and then got my own place over here. And then I had my son in November of 2017. I only took a 6-week mat leave, and then I went back to school and continued studying in high school. So I only was off for a month and a half. So I wasn't even fully healed.
Wow.
And then I continued going back to school, and then I ended up having to take the extra year because the one semester that I was pregnant, I only got 1 credit, and then the second semester that I did that I was pregnant, I think I got 1 or 2. No. So the second semester they told me that the first semester grade 12 they told me that I was registered. I had to show up and everything and do my schoolwork because it was a mom's program. It was a mom's school program that they had around here. And turns out I was actually never registered in the school. So all the work that I was doing was bogus. And as well as it was in the process of me moving back from Alberta and whatnot. So it's kind of all jumbled, but in a sense, I didn't have to go back to school after having my child. I could have stayed home and rested till the next semester started, but they forced me to go to school, which is kind of bad. I wasn't happy with that after I figured that out. So 17-year-old me just had a baby, back at school, and just, hustling in it hard, dropping off my son at daycare, going to school, and then picking him up after school, and then raising him.
Okay, this is a lot. This is a lot to unpack. So I hope you don't mind.
Yeah.
I'll ask some follow-up questions.
I'm totally okay.
So what's like? I mean, I've never had a baby, obviously, but how are you managing to take care of yourself and support yourself through all this as a 17-year-old?
So at the time I was, I had my son's father around and stuff. So he was somewhat a bit of help, not enough help, obviously. So my day-to-day life was basically wake up, get little man ready, drop him off at daycare, go to school, then pick him up from school, and then take him home. And most of the time ended up being fighting with his dad and stuff and whatnot. There were some good days. A lot of the times weren't the best. But once I graduated in 2019, that summer I actually ended up leaving his father. So I was 19 at that time, and then got another relationship that ended in November. And then it's just been kind of me focusing on Monkey and I.
Your son is destroying the house right now while we're talking.
He really is. I'll be honest.
So he's 3. So he's past the terrible 2s, but now he's just.
No, I need to correct everybody on that. There's no such thing as terrible 2s. It's terrible toddlers because it doesn't stop.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you. So at what point? So you obviously you graduated. You managed to be a mom, but also finally graduate after all that, right?
In high school as well in 2018, which was my grade 12 year, but not my final year. It was because I took a year after that. I started my modeling company under the name Mar Models, and So I was in high school, starting a business, raising a child, all at the age of 18 years old.
Yeah, that's incredible. So where did you even get the idea to start your own modeling agency?
There's no modeling agency in my area. The closest one is in Hamilton, which is at least 45 minutes drive.
Oh wow. Yeah, because I mean, how far? The Canadians are going to be really.
It's like a 45-minute drive from. It's a 45-minute drive from here.
Okay. What about like how far is Toronto from where you are?
So about an hour hour and 15, depending on where in Toronto you need to go.
Okay, got it. Okay, sorry.
So it's just no worries. It's just because not many people know exactly where I am, and not many people know where Hamilton is. But Hamilton is before Toronto, where I'm coming from.
Okay.
So yes, the closest. The closest place for anything modeling for my area would have been, Hamilton and Toronto. So I had a lot of people around here or even in Hamilton and Toronto asking me, hey, like, how did you get into modeling? What did you do? Like, what's this? What's that? Teach me this, show me this, get me a shoot. Well, I'm like, okay, so people clearly are asking me to become an agent and do something about this and become teaching and all that. So I took the calling that was being handed to me and I turned it into a modeling group that I was just getting us jobs, doing shoots, having fun. And then now I've hired on some partners and employees, and now we are an operating agency and basically talent school if you look at it.
This is okay. So you're like 19, 20 doing all this.
Yes, and now I'm 21.
Wow, that's like more than people do like in their whole lives.
Right? Yeah, I ended up just getting my company incorporated the other week. We meet with the bank this week actually. So yeah, it's been a long process of just like the modeling team and getting everything sorted and organized and decided what exactly we're doing, and then now we're finalizing everything and signing the paperwork.
That's exciting. So you were modeling before that though. You just decided to start your own company.
Yes, I've been modeling. So I've been modeling since I was 15 years old. I just started out saying, I looked at my parents, I'm like, I want to try modeling. I am not the skill level that I need to do for my age group for dancing. So modeling in my brain kind of is a way of dancing, because just, posing the dance moves in a way, and it helps because I know my body, I know how my body moves, and I'm able to keep straight lines, know how my body works and all that. So it was beneficial doing an easy transition like that. I ended up connecting with a photography student at Niagara College and did a photo shoot for her, and then connected with a local studio around here, which is no longer around, and made some connections there and networked a bunch. But what really put me on the modeling map was when I competed for Supermodel Canada back in 2019 after graduating high school.
Ooh, what's Supermodel Canada? This sounds exciting.
Yes, so Supermodel Canada is hosted by the Toronto Fashion Academy in Toronto, and it is basically in a way the Canadian version of America's Next Top Model, just in a lot shorter of a span.
Okay. So it's like a television show?
They're trying to become a television show. Like they're sending out, it's a different process from Canadian television than I think it is American television. And then, so I competed for season 3. I ended up making it to the final. So I got to stay in Toronto for 3 days, compete with all the models, 3 days of modeling nonstop, day in, day out, day in, day out. I'm
laughing.
Hey.
I'm not laughing at you, Michaela. I could just hear your son in the background going crazy, and it's just funny to me.
Hey, can you calm down, my love?
This is real life.
It is. This is my everyday life. Every phone call, every Zoom call, it's we got some entertainment.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just day in, day out modeling. I ended up being the shortest model on that runway in that entire competition because the height requirement is actually 5'7", and I stand at 5'3", and I have for almost now a decade.
Oh, you're only 5'3"?
I am a petite little one.
Oh,
I am a tiny little thing. Okay. So I do walk the runway. I do commercial shoots and a little bit of acting stuff here and there. Even though I'm only 5'3", I do pose very tall, so no one really realizes until I mention it or until they meet me in person. They're like, "You're short."
Right.
No crap.
Wait, so like, are you tall enough to like get on like the roller coasters in Canada?
Yes, I am. I just need it. You want to come say hi? Okay. This is Peter.
Say hi.
Want to say hi?
Hey, say hi to
say
Performa
Pete.
Nation. Hey, what's up, man?
No,
What's
that's
your name?
Peter. Say hi. No.
What's
Oh
your
my
name,
gosh.
buddy?
Yeah, Peter.
What's your son's name?
What's your name? What's your name? He doesn't want to say his name. We're still working on that, but his
Okay.
name's CJ.
CJ. Okay. Okay. So you make it to the finals in I'm sorry, what's it called again?
Supermodel Canada. So I made it to the finals. Yeah.
Yeah. Supermodel Canada.
Yeah. So I made it to the finals, competed in Toronto, met a bunch of people, made a bunch of connections, and ended up being scouted for an international pageant, which was Miss Progress International.
Okay.
And so I ended up representing Canada in that international pageant, got flown to Italy for 9 days, competed in that. This was my first pageant too, so I've never competed in a pageant before. I was under the height requirement for that one as well, but they still accepted me. And I ended up placing in the runner-up position of my category and flown back home and continued raising my son.
This is great. So now in all of this, you know, you're modeling and doing all these things. At what point do you decide that, I mean, I'm assuming because you're modeling that you're already into fitness because like you said, you played sports and whatnot. And
So,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I interrupted you. My apologies.
No, what I was going to say is like, I'm just assuming, I don't know, but like, since you're already a model and you're obviously doing photo shoots and whatever, I feel like you already kind of have an idea of like, you want to look a certain way. So you're probably working out and eating a certain way just to maintain a specific look, right? So fitness.
I'll actually admit, I actually struggled from an eating disorder for like my entire life. I still struggle from it. So I have a really, really, really high metabolism that, you know, how some people, if they like become quote unquote lazy and just sit around, they end up gaining weight.
That would be me.
I lose weight. I can't gain weight. I struggle gaining weight. So I've always been so tiny, very, very tiny in my entire life. The heaviest I've been naturally is 120 pounds. And that was when I was 16. And then I ended up getting pregnant. And then I ended up growing to 134 pounds after I had my son. Adrian, can you stop playing with that? That'd be great. Come here. Come here, please. One moment.
Hang on. Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay. Never mind. We're good. Okay. So, yeah, just stay here so I can see you, honey. So I don't know, where was I in the story?
I don't know, but we can start over. We're good. Talking about your eating disorder and how you struggle to gain weight.
Oh yeah. So after having my son, I went from 134 pounds to 120 pounds, and then I ended up going anorexic and like went down to about 100 pounds. Like 100 pounds fat and stuff. And I was at the age of like 18 years old at that time. So that's not really a healthy weight to be at that age and at the height. So I was on the downside, as well as I was anemic. I ended up getting out of the anemic zone of my white blood level, and my white blood cell and iron counts are high enough to not be there anymore. Okay. But after the toxic relationships and stuff that I've dealt with over the couple of years, I was like, I got to start working out. But I ended up starting to work out in April of 2020, so just at the start of COVID. So between high school and COVID, I actually wasn't working out or in sports or anything like that after having my son, because I ended up having my son and was dealing with his father, who, I'll be honest, completely like changed my life. My life is forever different because of him. Obviously, one reason because of son.
Yeah, you have a life you're responsible for now.
Oh, well, there's one that, but he didn't make it the best with my family either. But you know, it is what it is. You're dealt your cards. You're the one who deals with how you play them after. Okay, right. Yeah, you're cleaning your nose. I see that.
That's more real life. You know, I'm sure there are many people who, you know, have similar circumstances. You know, have, and even not even just at any age for that matter. Like,
yeah.
Maybe they don't approve of, you know, your partner or whatever. I mean, I know that I've been in relationships where my girlfriend's family did not approve of me because I'm an artist and it's not like a secure job or whatever. So
I'm a model. I do so much dangerous and terrible stuff. I shouldn't be a mother. Oh, I've heard the stories too. So everyone has their fair game of negativity, but use it to fuel exactly your creativity.
100%. I always have a chip on my shoulder, so I get it. But
right.
So okay, so then
one second. Kadrian, if you're flushing those down the toilet.
Hey, okay, so you started work, so you didn't really work out for a couple of years, and then in April, how does that work? Because you started working out in April of 2020. Were like, did you just start working out at home? Like, did you have a home gym? Because gyms were closed here for the most part everywhere.
So gyms were closed here too. So I kind of just went out and did my best to find some equipment, bought some bands online, some dumbbells and stuff, and just did the home workouts and just did my own thing. Followed a couple people on Instagram, copied their workouts, reached out to them as another influencer, made some connections and networks. I didn't pay for any like workout programs or anything like that. And people do come to me and ask me if I have any workout programs or anything. However, I don't, but I do coach now at F45 Fitness in Catharines. So anybody interested in my area who wants to coach with me, they can just check out there, register there, and take my classes. It's easier on me. I don't plan on taking personal clients.
Okay, so you teach group classes at F45.
Yeah.
Okay. They have F45 is like all over the place now.
They really are all across North America. Yeah.
Yeah, we have them here. I remember there's quite a few in LA where I'm from, but I've seen them all over the place. So I didn't realize they were north of the border as well. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So you teach group classes there.
Yeah, I do. I just started that. I'm training this month and then officially starting classes in September.
Oh, cool. That's exciting. So, I mean, what else do you do?
What don't I do? I think would be a shorter story.
Exactly.
So yeah, I run the agency, train the models. Obviously being
now when you say train the models, like
I teach them how to pose. I teach them how to use their face. I teach them how to walk. I teach them the industry. I show good photographers and bad photographers. Teach them how to be freelance models and or agency representative models. Basically everything a model needs to know that people don't realize that we actually need to learn and do. Right. I teach and coach.
Now,
because modeling is a job. I feel in my personal opinion that modeling and photography and makeup and hair and all that should be considered trades. I mean, hairstyling is considered a trade. Modeling should be considered a trade. Photography should be considered a trade, but they're not. I want to change that. That's one of my goals is to change.
Who doesn't think modeling is a job? Like
well, some people, because in Canada they're like, oh, you're just an Instagram model. You're just an influencer. They don't really believe the real modeling jobs, but then they say, oh, you do real modeling jobs. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, where did they think like the people in all the ads and stuff that we see? Where do they think they come from?
Well, unless they see you doing that, they don't think you're doing that.
Got it. Okay.
It's hard to prove. It's the proof in the pudding, you know. It's
Got it. I mean,
How people think about it.
I get a lot of that too, because I do stand up. And so like when people ask me what I do, and I mean, I do podcasting too, but I'm like, when they ask me what I do, I'm like, oh, I'm a comedian. They're like, oh, like, and like, I don't think like, they think I'm just saying that because like I'm trying to be funny. I'm like, no, like that's my job. Like,
That's
what I
exactly the
do.
exact same reaction I get from saying I'm a model. They're like, oh, what do you do for work? I'm like, oh, I'm a model. They're like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. And then I pull out my Instagram and they're like, oh, you actually do real modeling. I'm like, yeah. Then what did you think? They're like, oh, I just thought like you took pictures and posted them on Instagram. I'm like, no, I do real crap.
I mean, nothing to that, because I mean, I know a lot of girls who they also like they make money off of being an Instagram model. Like, so I mean,
I do the influencing stuff as well as the real modeling stuff. So they do intertwine and do work as like together. And if someone just does it themselves and they're able to, freaking all the power to you for monetizing your Instagram and being able to take that extra level with social media. I'm still working on it myself, but you know, we win some, we learn some.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's always, I mean, I feel like the internet the internet, and especially like social media, has changed everything as far as like who can call themselves a this or a that, right? Because in the old days, like you were a celebrity because you were in movies or TV and or like a singer or something. Whereas now, like, you know, people on YouTube are celebrities, or there's TikTok famous people, and there's Instagram famous, like there's so many different ways. So like what people back in the day used to think of as like a celebrity, like just the definition is just different now, you know, and you could build a following without ever being on TV or anything, you know. So, but like, you know, people from like a certain generation, like probably like before mine, just don't get it, you know, unfortunately. So, well, what's it like now? Because I'm obviously here in the US, but like, what's it like in Canada as far as like like gyms being open and restrictions? And because you guys are still kind of like, there's some restrictions, I think, still that you guys got going on.
Yeah, we still got restrictions going on. So like my gyms are like half capacity. We still have to wear masks and stuff. Not a lot of services are open and stuff. I mean, but they got pools open, they got stuff open. I haven't been seeing many people turned away for anything like without vaccines or anything like that just yet. So they're not going at that extreme currently, but yeah, just capacity of locations has really been the most restriction right now.
Yeah, because
we've just really opened up in June.
Yeah, because I was supposed to, I had like some tentative dates set up for like Vancouver and Edmonton, but then they kind of pushed it back because I think for me coming over to Canada, like I think I have to quarantine for 2 weeks first once I cross the border before I could like work, and that's not going to work for me. So yeah, things are a little bit.
How they're doing it is I don't know if you're vaccinated or not. That they're
allowing people
who are vaccinated.
I am, but
so there's that. There's either the 14 days of quarantine or you get a COVID test right when you're here, and if it comes back negative, you're clear to go. That's how they've been doing it. But I don't know exactly if they've opened up borders for U.S. citizens just yet. So I haven't kept up with that myself.
Yeah, I just know like I had dates, and then they were like, actually you have to quarantine. So I was like, let's just wait a little bit longer. But you know,
might as well wait. It doesn't hurt it, but it just sucks.
It does suck because I like Vancouver and Toronto, and you know, I want to go because that's where I have jobs lined up. But
if you're in Toronto, let me know.
Oh, I'll be there, you know, once the world is not on fire anymore.
Basically.
once they loosen everything up and you can go back to normal, I'll be there at some point. I just don't have the dates. So let's talk about some stuff. So for someone like let's just say in Canada, right? Someone wants to get into modeling. What advice would you give them?
One, check out my company. But two, start with your Instagram. Start getting a friend or even get a tripod. Start posting. Look at celebrities you like, influencers you like, and stuff like that, and start posting the kind of photos they post and stuff. Tag brands, whether they be local to you, so like a little cafe, push your coffee and tag them. Or
this is a good point, because you know, I'm hosting this PERFORMA POPcast, which I've been very grateful that they allowed me to do it. But the relationship between PERFORMA and I actually started because I bought some shaker cups, loved them, and I started tagging them. Just because I loved the products. And then eventually they were like, hey, like, thanks for posting our stuff. We like you. You know, I was a comedian, so we kind of had like nothing really in common other than that I love this and they like the fact that and then we ended up creating a working relationship together. So that I can firsthand say that, and that's actually worked with me and other brands as well. Like, just tag them. Like, if you have a shirt or something that you like, here you go. Bam.
That's how I got the Herx job. That's why I ended up starting modeling for them, and now I work the store.
Awesome. So Herx, as I learned before we started, is a supplement company in Canada.
Yeah. Okay. So Herx is a supplement store that you can purchase your supplement brands, Canadian or American. We are a Canadian store, obviously. But yeah, we do sell PERFORMA shakers and stuff as well in the stores and online. So
they better.
They do. Don't worry, I have a ton.
I have so many.
I know, right?
You can never have too many, is what I always say.
No, everyone's like, don't you have enough? Don't you have too many shakers? I'm like, no.
Yeah, like every time they come out with something new, I'm like, oh shit, I need that one because I don't have it.
I need that one. Exactly, yeah. Right? Like,
it is what it is. Plus for me, I will never, I won't mix my protein and like my pre-workout in the same.
Neither will I. I want them different too. So
even if you wash them, I'm like, no, I know the protein was in there. Sometimes, no matter what, there's still like a hint. So I'm like, no, pre-workout goes in these. These are for my protein. This is for my water. Like, I just have a system. It's great. I like it. Okay, so
I usually use the little ones for the pre-workouts, and then like the big ones for like my BCAAs, CAAs, and proteins and stuff.
Okay, perfect. Yep. Okay, so you suggest to people, model pictures, or post pictures of yourself, tag brands. Like, what else would you recommend for someone trying to get into that?
Even if like the fitness industry as well, like start posting your workouts, start posting the supplements and stuff you use, recipes and whatnot. That's like to get you into the fitness stuff. Back into the modeling, post the stores you shop from, start styling yourself. There are, like, depending on the area you are, search for casting calls in your area, just like, hashtag casting call with your city or wherever, and you'll be able to find some castings that way. Or even depending where you are, there's like Backstage and a couple like websites, whatnot, like Model Mayhem. If you're on Model Mayhem, there are a couple scams and stuff, but you'll be able to realize which are scams, which are real, and like whittle through.
Do you guys have I think you do you guys have casting networks in Canada as well?
I believe the casting networks we have are Backstage, get the casting central, there's something like, there's a couple, I can't think of them on the top of my head though.
Okay, yeah, because I'm pretty sure, and I can't look it up, but there's a company literally called Casting Networks, and they have branches in different cities. And I know there's stuff on Vancouver in there, but I don't know if I've ever looked for Toronto, but I would imagine they do have it. So, I mean, but people here are listening, they're probably in the US too. So I would just look up Casting Networks. And if you're in a city look to see where the closest city, they have them literally in the US, they have Casting Networks, Atlanta, Dallas, Austin, like New York, Chicago, like everywhere. Yeah. So I'm sure they probably have them in like the big cities in Canada.
Another thing is, don't be afraid to reach out to agencies. Take photos of yourself with your phone or get a friend to do it. Make sure you have a clean background, proper lighting. If you have a ring light like I'm currently using, or good lighting enough in your house, as long as you have like your front, side, back photos, all you gotta do is like wear a tank top and leggings or t-shirt and jeans or whatever. Just has to be slimming. submit those images. They're called digitals or Polaroids. And you'll hear back from the agency, hopefully through email, and you usually go from there, take the critique or the acceptance that they give you. Right. And that's always a great way to do it. By the way, when submitting to agencies, if you get a rejection, just do like a 6-month rotation and reach out to as many as possible. Don't care about the height requirements is another big thing that I want to say to a bunch of people.
Yeah, because you're 5'3". I mean, I'm
5'3" and I'm still doing what I'm doing. So yeah. I mean, you never know it. And anybody who pays attention to Sports Illustrated swimsuit, it's Kathy Jacobs standing at 5'3" as well, but at the age of 57, Rookie of the Year, swimsuit Rookie of the Year.
Interesting. I'm embarrassed to say that I haven't even seen this year's swimsuit issue. Is that bad?
Well, go see it and you'll see 57-year-old Kathy Jacobs. She's absolutely stunning.
Is she like a model, or is she like an athlete or something?
She's a model. She just took a shot. I think she does acting and modeling. She took a shot at the Sports Illustrated swimsuit and it put her on the map.
Wow. Yeah, you never know, you guys. You see? Now you said if you get rejected, follow up in a few more months. I'll say this because
you're okay.
Because I do stand up. Hey CJ, what's up, buddy? You're really blonde.
Say hi. Yeah, I know.
I can say for like literally any aspect of the entertainment industry, whether it's acting, as a dancer, model, comedian, like there's so much rejection. Right? Like there's just you get rejection all the time, and you can't take it personal. You can't give up. Like if it's what you really want to do, you just say, I mean, what I say is like, all right, well, fuck that. And I just keep going. And I use that for fuel to just keep pushing forward. Like I always say, like for every
job I look at things and rejection. Oh, sorry. No, how I look at when I look at rejection and stuff, the word no stands for next opportunity. So you may not get this one, but pay attention to the next one. There's always a next opportunity. There's always a next opportunity. So no, next opportunity, check it out.
I like that.
So always keep that in mind, as well as the mindset of never losing, because if you don't win, you learn a lesson. Yeah. So I never in my head, I'm not losing, because if I don't win or if I don't get something, I learned a lesson. What did I do wrong? What can I improve on? What's the lesson right in the moment in the situation going on? So I always try to keep a positive mind, and also looking at being a constant student of life. I love absorbing information and knowledge, and learning new things every single day is always a top tier on my to-do list.
I like that. Makayla, you are very wise at your age. I will say this, and I'm sure I'm sure a decent amount of it comes from the fact that you're a mom, so you kind of have to like become responsible. You learn a lot when you have to become responsible for another person. But if anyone hasn't told you, I'll just say you're very wise for your age.
I do get that a lot, just because of exactly that.
Yeah. No, that's great. I mean, and I think that's inspiring to other people, with or without kids, like young people. Like there's just so much, you can never learn too much. And even me at my old age, like I'm always reading, reading articles or books. Like I'm always absorbing information. But what's funny is like, I know that there's a certain amount of knowledge that like at some point you cannot absorb any more knowledge without losing other knowledge. So for me, I'm always like, I learned all these new things, but in my mind, I'm like, what am I forgetting now? Like what information is leaving me?
Yeah, there's always that, but in another sense of it, when you look at it, it'll always be a memory of it in the back of your head. Like there'll always be that some sort of thought or memory, and it'll just take a trigger just to bring it back, which you'll never figure out until it happens.
Right.
So the human mind, I don't think really forgets, but it does, because in a sense you may not even bring that topic up ever again, right? But yeah, that's one way I was looking at it. I was gonna say something but forgot about it, so yeah, moving on from that.
Okay, let me ask you some hard questions. I mean, you've been great so far, but these are some hard questions now. They're not hard, there's more thought-provoking. What are now, you don't have to know these people, okay? But who are 3 people in your life that have been the most influential to you? Uh-oh, Makayla froze. Oh, there we go. We got it. Did you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, you asked me what my 3 most influential, inspiring people are in my life.
Yep.
One of the most inspiring people in my life currently right now is my son. Obviously, he's the one obviously keeping me moving and continuing my goals, because I want to be the best example that I can for him, which in turn shows and inspires other individuals to be the best that they can, and as well as him, of course. Thinking of 2 other individuals that inspire me is honestly actually a harder question for me, because I know I could pick a celebrity or someone like that, but I actually don't keep up with anybody like specifically that inspire me and keep me going. Like I keep tabs, or I keep their quotes or anything on me. I mean, Coco Rocha is a huge role model for myself, because like she's from Montreal, Canada, and she is like one of the top supermodels in the world. And she is the one who brought social media as a normality in this modeling industry. Without her, I probably wouldn't be a model than I am today. Because I do learn a lot just from what she posts online. She does offer a camp that she has handpicked me for to attend, but I have not been able to obtain the money to do that. She reached out to me on Instagram to let me know all. So we had a little bit of conversation. That was one of the biggest inspirational moments that I've had in my life so far. But then third, I don't even know at this moment. You'd have to come back to me on that one.
I know it's funny. It's funny because this is not. I ask this question quite a bit, and a lot of times people cannot think of 3 people, which is interesting. So yeah, that's not uncommon. Okay.
Well, for instance, like there is like, I'll explain why I can't think of the third person, only because like it's just really me and my son in my life. I don't have anybody that I keep up with or like a tabs on, like for the celebrity or social media world. And then in my personal life, I don't have anybody that I look up to, or like that I have that inspire me continuing it, except for myself. I haven't found another me or someone who can help me be a better me.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
And I'm still in search for that third inspiration. So, I mean, looking at Coco Rocha, she's able to help, like, in mindset, able to teach me and show me to become a better me, a better model. And then obviously my son every single day, seeing that beautiful face is the biggest inspiration of all.
Okay, let's go. This is okay. What is your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it?
I wouldn't say my biggest failure isn't like an event, like a one sole thing. It's more of a long term behavior that I had that was a failure in itself. And that would be letting other people dictate my career, in a sense of, significant others.
Right.
If you're in a relationship and you're someone who's with a person that's telling you, no, don't do this, can't do this, oh, I don't like when you do that, you need to cut them out, because that solely held me back in many, many years of my life. And I can say that, I can't say, but sometimes I do think, hey, I could be further than I am now if I didn't get with the wrong people and let those people control me. But in a sense, I wouldn't have the beautiful boy I have.
Right. Yeah, that's a thing. It's, I mean, especially like, I mean, I guess in any career path, you know, but like there's something about like artists, and I consider modeling as a form of artistry. Like it takes a special person to be with a person that's in the arts, right? Like if your significant other is an actor or they're a comedian or they're a model, like it's not for people, like you cannot be insecure and be with a person that's in the industry. Like you can't.
No, exactly.
It
No,
doesn't
and I've
work.
had that. I've been with insecure people, and
Yeah.
they just drain the life out of you if you're in the creative industry. If they're
Yeah.
not on board with it, it's different. Like unless you've discussed it and like talked it up, but it's really hard to maintain a relationship unless they are a supportive person in your network.
Yeah,
they need to be that supportive person. They need to be that rock for you, because if they're not, it puts a huge damper in your career, into a lot of times you having to put it on hold.
Yeah.
Which we don't need, which no one needs.
You need your person needs to be your, essentially they need to be your biggest fan, honestly. Like if they're not your biggest proponent,
Yeah,
your
they
biggest
really
fan.
do.
Yeah, I've had, you know, girls that I used to date that were just like, even like before anything, like, oh, I can't date a comedian because you'll end up talking about me. And I'm like, I'm gonna end up fucking talking about you anyway. So like, either ride with it or
You're just
don't ride
gonna
with
be
it.
an X. You just choose the label you're gonna end up being in the story.
Exactly.
You know, like
exactly. That's it.
like when you're
Okay,
with a comedian, or even when you're like, oh, it's just a whole other conversation. But like when you're with a comedian, or even when you're friends with a comedian, you need to realize you will forever and ever be part of his content.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky, because you know what there is too. There's a lot of people that think that their lives or their stories should be in your act, and then you're like, no, dude, your shit, that's not funny at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you could put this in your act, and I'm like, no, I can't, because it's not entertaining at all. Okay, what is okay, let's talk, this is a modeling question. What's a common myth about your profession that you would like to debunk?
Well, one thing that has been debunking a bit, you don't need to look perfect to be in the modeling industry.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Like I personally don't think I look perfect. I get acne because I'm too short, hair's too long, I'm now too fit instead of being too skinny. There's no such thing as too much of something.
Right.
Because in all honesty, that ends up being your quirk and being the thing that they end up booking you for. You got multiple freckles. Oh, we need someone with freckles. You got a gap in your tooth. Oh, we love that different. Like we love the different, like being more open and like inclusive and whatnot. Like that's the industry has changed. Okay. It really has.
Yeah.
And there are, and the other thing is that there is the negativity around, like, you know, the social media influencer and stuff. We're not all, you know, give me free things, get like, you know, like happy, like perfect lives and stuff. As you guys can see, as this conversation's going along, my son's wrecking havoc all over my house.
Right.
So like, you see my Instagram, you're like, oh, this girl's pretty, you know, up there, upscale, doing all this stuff. And if you see me in real life, you're like, she's wearing sweatpants and a bunch of baggy stuff, and her hair is a mess, and holy crap, she needs to sleep. Yeah, that's me.
Right.
So social media paints a pretty picture for everybody. Just constantly remind yourself that.
Got it. Of course. Yeah. People are going to only share their highlights, right?
But that being said, don't just go and start unfollowing a bunch of influencers because you think they're influencers. We are also trying to make a living and help you guys, you know, either save money or find new things or connect with local brands, depending if you're looking at influencers in your area or influencers in areas that you're planning on going to visit, you know?
Right.
So each of us are our own small businesses as well. So please support us all. We love you.
Support them. What do you have a favorite superhero, Makayla?
I would say I got Man of Steel.
Superman.
Superman.
Like the character itself, or like a specific, like played by a specific actor, like a specific.
So I'll be honest, I actually don't watch TVs or shows or anything like that. I just always loved, being that superhero person in life. And I got when it got me into it was the YouTuber Superwoman, Lily Singh, and she used to do like the Superwoman kind of thing. She used to use the logo until Marvel was like, hey, like we want like to do like this like Superwoman for Marvel, and she was like, no, Superwoman's mine, because she trademarked it. So they had to go with Supergirl.
Oh,
and so she was no longer allowed to use the Marvel Superman logo, so she had to make her own.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There's going to be people that are really, so Superman, this is just me being a nerd and knowing that people are listening. They're going to be like, no. So Superman is DC. Okay.
Yeah.
So
no, my apologies, guys. DC. See, as you can tell, I don't watch shows. I don't watch TV,
right.
anything like that. So disclaimer, me.
I just want, like, if people are listening, they're like, dude, how come you're not correcting her? I just wanted to be nice,
corrected me.
But I did. Just, it's fine. I knew what she meant.
Hey, if it makes it any better, guys, my twin sister likes Batman and I'm Superman, so that's
great. You have a twin sister.
We look nothing alike, but yes.
Oh wow, okay, interesting. But you don't look anything alike.
Okay. No, she's blonde with curly hair that's short, and I'm brunette with long hair that is straight.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, Makayla, one more question, and so this is a tough one, and I always do a really bad job of explaining this question. But if you were me, okay, pretend you were me. Is there anything that you would have asked yourself that I didn't ask you?
The only thing I would have asked as an interviewer would be, what's your well, that's basically what you are as an interviewer, right? So if I were you, the only other thing I would have asked would have been, what's your next project or next goals and ambitions, if you have and can disclose?
Yeah, okay, Makayla, what do you have coming up? What's your next thing that you have coming up?
So currently I have an event coming up with the Canadian Mustang Registry. It is called Stang Fest, and we have a couple things up our sleeve with a record holding of
So okay, this you're talking like Mustang, like the car.
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you have a Mustang?
I'm trying to get one. I'm in the works of it. My friend Emma, who I work with on Car Magazine together, she and I are working on the projects, getting some together. But her and her boyfriend both have Mustangs.
Okay, yeah, I've had 2 Mustangs. I love them. I'm gonna get another one, but right now, because I drive so much for my job, I have to have like a car that's a little bit more fuel efficient. So I don't have one.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, I drive a lot, because I have to drive all over to.
I do too.
Yeah. So I need something that's more fuel efficient, and so. But I love Mustangs. Okay, so Stang Fest in Canada.
So we got Stang Fest happening in at the Toronto. I think the Toronto Motorsports track in Cayuga. So we got that coming up August 14th. So there's that, as well as for modeling. Currently working some deals with the Modern Bride Wedding Show, bringing some more programs and stuff into the GTA and Toronto area for those interested. Modern Bride Wedding Show is, as it is a wedding show, vendors and wedding people. I walk as a model, and I also help coach and train the inspiring models that want to be a part. Also, big things coming up with my company. That's officially launching services for coaching models, singer-songwriters, dancers, everything under the sun, everything in the entertainment industry that you can think of. We basically cover it. Check us out on Instagram and inquire about what we got.
It's called Our Models, right?
Our House.
Our House.
Just letter Our House.
Okay, yeah. We'll include it in the show notes. So if they want to click on the show notes, we'll have a link to there. Okay, Makayla, tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
You can find me on Facebook or Instagram at Makayla R Official. My name is spelled Makayla, and then R Official. Or you can find me on TikTok at mouse.xo.
Mouse.xo. Okay, we'll put them in the show notes. Makayla, thank you so much for joining us on the PERFORMA POPcast. Listeners, thank you guys for listening. This has been the PERFORMA POPcast. We will see you guys next time. Hang on one second, Makayla. We'll see you guys next time, and thanks for listening. Bye.